Should you be using SteadyShot when you shoot sports with high shutter speeds with the A9III? Intro. The shorter answer is yes, you should. Now there's two different types of image stabilization that's possible with the A9III. One is IBIS, or in-body image stabilization. Sometimes you'll pick up the camera and realize that like something's clunking in there, and that is the image stabilization system can literally move the sensor on its own in 3 axis in order to correct your jumpiness, or if you sneeze or whatever when you're shooting. In this feature set here in SteadyShot, when you turn SteadyShot on, which is how I always shoot, I always want it on, what you're doing is you're telling the camera that it can help you be steady with whatever you're shooting. And even if you're shooting on a monopod, this is going to help you. Now, some of the Sony lenses are equipped with OSS, or optical stabilization system. And so if you have an OSS lens on the A9III, they will work together. So the IBIS will conjunct with the OSS lenses and give you a maximum, unbelievable level of quality in terms of stabilization. So unless you're on a tripod, you should always use image stabilization and have SteadyShot turned on. Now remember, on the A9III, it's not going to reduce the size of the image at all. You're not going to zoom in. It's still going to remain full size, which is kind of cool. One last thing, a lot of times people make the argument, and I get it, they'll say, well, I'm shooting at 6,000th of a second. Like, how in the world is SteadyShot going to help me? And the answer is when you pan. So when you're panning, you go from the quarterback's release of the ball and you're trying to find the receiver. Sometimes we don't find it right away, or we kind of jump around a little bit. In that jumping around is where we get in trouble, and we can lose our own movement, can overcome the shutter speed that we've selected, even if it's really high. And so SteadyShot is so important to use in sports photography. Do not turn it off, even if you're on a monopod. And the only time you want to turn it off if you're doing skyscapes or something with a tripod. Otherwise, leave it on all the time. Outro.